From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Guilt and feeling ashamed and feeling like I should have done more and I should have been able to stop this.
Last night, we brought you expert advice on how to help prevent suicide. Tonight, we hear from a Billings woman who's lived through the loss and is now molding her future forward several rotations at a time. Plus, we look back on the life of Billings World War II veteran Bud LeCount, who passed away late last night. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your Tuesday night. I'm Jeanelle Slade. We'll get to those stories in a moment, but first. Tonight, an investigation is underway after two vehicles were started on fire in two separate areas of town. Now, police are now trying to figure out if those crimes are connected. Q2's Andrea Lutz shares a story of one victim who managed to start recording on his phone just as flames overtook his car.
Broken glass and charred remains. That's all that's left of a Billings high school student's car after he says someone purposely started it on fire. Now he's searching for answers, wondering why he was the target.
I was awestruck.
Senior high school senior Jackson Martin has a lot of questions after capturing this video of his own car completely engulfed in flames.
It was quite the mind-blowing experience.
Mostly, he wants to know why. Monday morning, he parked his car here on 6th Street West and Avenue B right before school.
So I pulled up to school, like any other day, and I get ready to walk to school, just hang out with some friends before class.
But he decided to walk back and get his phone.
In my car smoking. I had all four of my windows rolled down, so I assumed somebody flicked something in the back seat of my car.
He managed to get the phone out just in time and started rolling.
They don't know if it was firecrackers, matches, lighters, whatever the case may be.
Billings fire investigators say this isn't the only car fire that day they're investigating. While they haven't said what's caused either of those, together, some $7,000 worth of damages.
I put a lot of my own money into that car, and then watching it burn was a devastating moment for sure.
But Martin says he's lucky it wasn't worse.
Right here, if anything exploded, I could have affected any houses or... So it was... I want to say traumatic almost. It was very nerve-wracking.
He now wants others to know this could happen to anyone. So be vigilant and keep rolling. In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
I'm Brandon Warren in Laurel, and with other crime news, the Laurel Police Department is still investigating a stabbing that occurred at a business on the 300 block of Southeast 4th Street. On Sunday, September 6th, officers were called to a business for a reported altercation that resulted in a stabbing. The altercation involved two males and a female, and the victim, a juvenile male, was transported to the hospital in a private vehicle prior to the officers arriving on scene. The victim underwent surgery and the name has not been released. We have reached out to the Laurel Police Department, but they have no other information to release and are not able to confirm the business where the stabbing happened. Also tonight, we know the names of the three people that died in Sunday morning's fatal ATV accident. 24-year-old Tyler Craig and 22-year-olds Dallas Middlestat and Kaylee Weiland all died from blunt force trauma. Their vehicle, a four-seater Polaris RZR, was located in a shallow ravine near the 4000 block of Highway 87 East. Preliminary observations indicate the vehicle went into the ravine and impacted the other side, killing the three occupants. In Yellowstone County, Brandon Warren, MTN News.
Joining us now, Q2 Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh. Warm and windy conditions are headed this way. That means it's blowing in more fire risk.
That's right, especially with the low humidities. We head into tomorrow. All across the eastern and southern portions of Montana, red flag warnings into effect, and the potential for more red flags in those areas off into the western Dakotas and northern Wyoming as well. So Just as we've talked about all summer long, with that combination of heat and low humidity and windy conditions, it is really requiring us to watch our activities for tomorrow. Open campfires, anything with an open flame or an open spark. Make sure you watch those trailer chains as well. As we get into the next 24 hours, much of the area will see much warmer than average temperatures. We're going to talk about that and the rest of the week coming up in a few minutes.
The greatest generation is fading fast. The number of World War II veterans left alive falls by the day. And Billings lost one of its own when D-Day survivor Bud LeCount passed away late last night. I was fortunate to be able to sit down with Bud a couple of times where he told me his story, and what an amazing one it is.
How old did you say he was?
98.
The last time I caught up with Bud LeCount was in May as he celebrated his 98th birthday with family and friends, the fruit of a long and successful life.
The whole tribe is here.
Bud's story, like many of the millions who served in World War II, is pretty incredible. A Chippewa Indian, he was taken away from his parents at the age of 6 and sent to the Fort Totten Indian School. He wouldn't see his family again for 9 years.
They were gonna take the Indian out of us and make white folks out of us or something.
By the time he was 21, the world was at war, and Bud was driving a Jeep onto Omaha Beach, a day that would turn the tide in World War II. In 2013, he was awarded a Legion of Honor medal for helping free France from the Nazis.
When I saw the chaos and realized what we were doing, it scared the living hell out of me.
After the war, Bud did like most veterans did. Came home, got a job, raised a family, and had a better life, he says, than he ever expected.
I wound up doing a lot better than I ever dreamed I would. I thought if we could just make a good living for the family, that was it. But I've gone way beyond that.
In Billings, I'm Russ Riesinger reporting for MTN News.